I'm kind of stuck here. This might be a good campground. The cops won't bother me. Just took my first crash here.
Guys, today is a very snowy day, as you can see outside, and so I decided to use this time to the vstrom, and the goal really is to remove the forks so I can fix this fork seal that's leaking. As you can see here on this left fork seal, it is pretty bad. I'm going to start by taking off these plastics.
So the first thing you need to start doing is by removing the fairings on the Suzuki V-Strom. We're going to do a check over this motorcycle, check everything. But the first thing I'm going to do is remove the fairings. They're kind of hard to remove because there's so many screws, but be careful, the plastic is very fragile. And oftentimes fractures can start and you can break off a tab. And these things can get kind of expensive, so be very careful with it. Don't start pushing too much. You can see here one of my tabs is broken. It must have been already kind of fractured, and when I pushed it a little bit, it was a goner. Repeat on the left side, remove all the screws. There's another screw hidden right in front here, and you have to use a Phillips head to unscrew it. I had some bad luck with this screw. It was pretty stripped, and the bottom one was stripped, so I had to helicoil it and remove it that way. So, it's a pretty simple process, but that means I'm going to have to search for a bolt to put on there. It eventually came out, and I was able to proceed. So the next step is removing the fuel tank, and I wasn't quite sure what to do here because I never removed it. You actually don't need to remove the bolts I am removing on the side. You can remove the middle one, and that would be fine. That top bracket on top of the gas tank actually can be used to removing the gas tank. It's a little bit higher, so you can push it in. Sometimes it's stuck, but I removed it this way, and it seemed to be fine. And it was actually easier like that. So mine was a little stuck. I had to force it a little bit on the wire for the fuel sender here. I sprayed some WD-40, and after some resistance, I managed to remove it. There's also another hose attached to the fuel tank. It's the breather hose. Finally, remove the bottom front of the fairing of the motorcycle to reach another screw, which is right here, and it's a Phillips head, and this will make sure that the sides come out easy. So you can see I have my right side, and that's my good side there, but except I have a tab that's broken, and the tab on the top is actually cracked and about to break off. So I need to repair this before I put it back on the bike.
Fairly clean inside there.
So to completely remove the tank, you have
we have to remove this.
Use a 12 millimeter
the low level
socket and put it on the left side of the gas tank. And with your right hand, just hold the nut on the right side, and it should come out very easily. So there is a trick to removing the gas tank. You have to lift up. You can't really pull it directly back. Most bikes, you pull them directly back. With the gas tank out of the way, you can start removing the Phillips heads on the airbox here. So keep in mind that you have to remove the gas tank and do all of this to get to the airbox, and you can see this thing is extremely dirty. I don't think I've ever seen an air filter this dirty. It's I should have checked it a long time ago, except, it's not very often that I have to check an air filter on the vstrom. It's always working well, but
On the right.
remove the screw here to pivot the radiator out of the way so you can reach the front spark plug. And this was fairly easy to do. You just kind of pull it out and it moves a little bit, but not enough to actually get your hand in there. So I decided to remove the top bolt on the radiator. This bolt lets you get it out a little bit more. The rear spark plug is pretty easy. It's directly under the seat, and you just take your spark plug wrench and just remove it.
Might as well just get a.
The front spark plug is another thing altogether. It's very difficult to get. You have to move the radiator out of the way. It's good to kind of remove the entire radiator if you can. So here is the spark plug, and it is pretty dirty, as you can see. But the other spark plug was just as dirty, and I don't believe these were ever changed on the bike. The bike has got 42,000 miles right now.
Condition's pretty bad. I can see, yeah, I think this is like one of the worst spark plugs I've ever seen. Right away, the airbox was like super dirty, and I've never seen an airbox this dirty. The spark plugs, I've never changed them. This bike has 42,000 miles, so shame on me for not doing it early. I bought it with, I think 14,000 miles. I've just been changing the oil and stuff like that. So I'm kind of glad I had a snow day to fix some of these things. And I need a new chain and sprockets. Now, it seems like it's a lot, but a lot of this stuff is just routine maintenance. And I kind of neglected the maintenance on this bike for a little bit on these bigger items, because this bike has been just so reliable. It doesn't act as if it needs anything. It's just a very incredible bike.